Oh yes, lads and lasses, what's going on? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little Manchester United rundown, transfer news show, and latest goings on video for you lads and lasses. Live, we are live here this afternoon. Sorry to keep you waiting 11 minutes, guys. That's unacceptable, isn't it? That is a long time to be waiting. But there's reasons why I was a little bit longer, because there's been some latest breaking news which I had to just get my head around and get set up on the stream here to show you the latest stuff. So, yeah, it'll be worth it. But thank you for waiting here and getting yourself in the live chat. Hello to everybody. Welcome aboard the Bacon Express. Thank you for joining today, guys. Everybody in the chat. Jonny, Primot, Mikhail, Templar, Dark Knight. We've got Colin Relf in here, the Vootinator, Primot, Boomy, Aaron, get in there, my friend. Dynamic Melon, Dark Knight, Jonathan Gallagher. Oh, yes. Dark Knight, IQ Insane, Gungshi, get in there, you handsome bastard. Scoojo, Jonny, and everybody. Vincent Bullock, Wessex Mercier, Kingslayer, Nikolai Lindquist, Dark Knight, Wessex. Guys, thank you very much for getting in here. Griffo, Chaz, Madhouse, Timo, IQ Insane, Jamie, Pro Glazer, get out. Get in there. Luan France, how are you doing today? And everybody else as well, guys. There's a lot of legends in here, but thank you very much for joining, everyone. Do us a favour at the start of the show. Give us a boost up there on the YouTube algorithm by smashing that like button and giving us a share around somewhere. We've pinned the tweet to the top of the chat there. Give us a retweet over on Twitter. That'd be much appreciated, guys. And also, if you're new to this channel, of course, you can subscribe for free. Get yourself subscribed so you can have your say and get involved with the community of legends here. And we will have a big Q&A at the end of the show. Stick around to the end and we'll get into that. But also, we do dip in and out of the live chat throughout the show and see what your legends are saying on all the topics. So keep your thoughts and opinions coming. Yes, really, Scott05. That's what I was just trying to get my head around and trying to sort out for you guys so I can get this graphic up on screen for you. Manchester United have signed a player. Jonny Evans, guys. You what? Mate, this is a absolute surprise. This is absolutely mental. We've just gone and signed Jonny Evans, guys. So Fabrizio Romano, just a few minutes before this show started, reported and said, unexpected news of the day. Jonny Evans has signed a short-term deal with Manchester United. This will enable Evans to take part in upcoming pre-season games. So, you know, short-term deal. We'll have to wait and see how short in terms of the deal that it is. But obviously he's coming here. He's coming. You know what? You know what, guys? I'm going to say this right now. He's better than Harry Maguire. He's better than the Slab. Smash a 1 in the chat if you agree he's better than Harry Maguire. Honestly, I don't think Jonny Evans is a world-class player or anything, but he's better than Harry Maguire, and he was better than Harry Maguire for Manchester United as well. So, you know, we could do a lot worse than Jonny Evans, guys, in my humble opinion. I mean, look, he's obviously not coming in here for a long time. I personally think when you look back at what United had a couple of years ago, before the likes of Maguire and Lindelof came along, and we had Jonny Evans and Smalling and these sorts of guys, they were just as good as what we have currently, if not slightly better. That goes for Jonny Evans as well. You know, that they were slightly better, if anything. But at the time, we thought these guys are not quite up to the standard. We need to move them on, which is the right mentality to have at a huge club like United. You've got to try and find your Lisandro Martinez and your Varane. Those are the two quality players that we needed to go out there and sign. But certainly, Smalling and Jonny Evans, these guys were decent players for Manchester United, especially when you compare them to melters like Slavo Maguire. Thank you, Flying Pig United fan, for the $1.99 super chat here, my son. Come on, get in there. Get some love in the chat there for Flying Pig United fan. Thank you so much for the super sticker there, bro. Yes, Aston Villa, I know it's hard to get your head around, isn't it? Jonny Evans to Man United. Jonny Evans, indeed. So I think it's a good signing. Well, we're waiting for more information on that one, Kate Cadet. I'll let you know as soon as it comes out. Kate Cadet says, how long is the deal? At the moment, it's just a short-term deal. Who knows how short? We're hoping for a few more terms of the deal to come out very shortly. I will let you know as soon as, you know, we've got a bit more information on that. So, you know, like, obviously, Fabrizio's broken the news, as you can see from that graphic over there. And we're just waiting for a bit more. All it says at the moment is short-term. Let me see if I can find a little bit more information out right now while the show's live. Don't think there's been an update on it at this moment, but it's a short-term deal. All it says at this moment is that he will be able to take part in upcoming pre-season games. Now, does that just mean that he's been signed as a pre-season player? I mean, I don't think so. I personally think it would be at least a 6-month, maybe a 1-year contract at this stage, because you wouldn't just sign somebody for pre-season. You would want to sign them in order to play them pre-season so they can sort of bed in and actually be part of your season. It makes no sense to sign him for the pre-season. So I don't think it's just for the pre-season here. But we'll wait and see what happens if there's anything official there. United says it's just for the pre-season. I'm not so sure. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what sort of confirmation there is. United thinks it's just for the pre-season. Very good question. We'll have to wait and find out. But at this moment, I mean, I haven't seen anything from Man United officially yet. It is a bit of a surprise at this moment in time. If it's just for the pre-season, it seems very strange to me. Why would we need him for pre-season? But Mikhail brings up a great point. Hopefully, this means Harry exit. Certainly. So, long term, it's actually a really shrewd piece of business by Manchester United, this. If we were to sign him for the season, say, or a significant amount of time. Because if Harry Maguire is going out of this football club, we do need to bring somebody in. We've got Lindelof, we've got Varane, we've got Martinez, we've got Luke Shaw who can play there, we've got some youngsters, but essentially we would have to, try and bring in another centre-back. And if the right centre-back as a young prospect or an expensive sort of player isn't available, I mean, you can do a lot worse than Jonny Evans. Honestly, Jonny Evans is decent, and he's proved that as lately as, the last year or two. So I think he's obviously a very decent signing for nothing there, guys. I agree with you, Cadet. It's nice to have Jonny Evans back at United. Definitely. But just on Mikhail's point there, Harry Maguire exit, guys. Do you think this means Harry Maguire's going this summer? Yes or no? What do you think? I guess it doesn't change too much. I guess he's now 5th or 6th choice centre-back, though. I guess it changes that. But it doesn't change too much in the sense of he's still getting paid a huge amount of money. It would take a big offer from somebody else in terms of wages to try and, convince Harry Maguire to go elsewhere, unless he really is the sort of guy that's going to go play somewhere else for less money. So I don't know if anybody else is going to pay Maguire what we pay him. But I think hopefully it does mean that, yes, Maguire's finished at United, says Johnny. Mohammed says yes. Furkan says yes. Yes, says Aaron. Slurp King says he will cover for Maguire if we don't sign a defender. Cover for Maguire? What's he covering for Maguire in? A large head competition? What's he covering for Maguire in? Where Maguire's had a sick day and he's not able to make everyone cups of tea in the dressing room? What's he covering for? You know what I mean? It doesn't add up. He's the 5th choice, Harry Maguire, as it is. He's behind Lindelof, Martinez, Varane, and Luke Shaw instead of Maguire's the cover of the cover. So I don't think we're signing Jonny Evans to cover for Maguire. I think we're trying to sign Jonny Evans, or we've signed Jonny Evans, to maybe replace Harry Maguire. You know what I mean? He's exactly a replacement fridge, Emperor Jerome. A replacement fridge. There you go. So our fridge is broken down. We know that. It's a large square fridge. It's a Smeg fridge. It's super expensive. But it's broken down, and all the milk's gone all rotten, and, it's gone sour, and the cheese has got mould on it, and now it's time to get a new fridge. That's where Jonny Evans comes in. You know what I mean? Good budget. No messing around with Jonny Evans, is he? Pick him up from Argos for a very reasonable price. So that's the difference there between Jonny Evans and Maguire. Maguire's just too much money. It's a ridiculous amount of cash to pay him weekly. If we can get him off our books, so we bloody well should. So there is some interest from other football clubs, apparently anyway. Teams like West Ham are interested in him. I've heard that perhaps Newcastle United wouldn't be interested in him, which I find pretty difficult to believe when they've got players like Botman and Dan Burn and things like that. But, maybe as an option, I don't know. Griffo Chaz. A new old fridge. Well, there you go. Slabby Maguire, though, his days are numbered, I think, at United, especially when Manchester United are doing business like this and picking up Jonny Evans. Now, I would love to be able to tell you officially how long this transfer or this contract is. There's some people that are suggesting in the live chat that it is just for pre-season. When you look at what Fabrizio Romano said here, he doesn't say that it's just for pre-season. Now, we're waiting for a good source to suggest how long the contract is. But if you have a look at what Fabrizio says, unexpected news of the day is Jonny Evans has signed a short-term deal with United. Short-term could mean 6 months, it could mean a year, or it could just mean pre-season. But I've never really heard of that before. I mean, unless we're doing him a favour to train with us, but then you wouldn't have to sign him to train with us. It says this would enable Evans to take part in upcoming pre-season games. Let's ask the live chat. Yeah, Dark Knight says 6 months, I reckon. 6 months would be quite strange as well. But fair play to you. Scott says 6 months. Let's ask the live chat. How long do you think Jonny Evans' contract is for at United? I'm going to say 12 months, guys. I'm going to say 12 months. I mean, we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see until it comes out. A lot of people are saying 6 months. Till January, that would be 6 months as well, Stephen. 2 weeks, says Bello. Probably a year, says Irasan. Hey there, Nafal Anazi. Welcome in. 12 months, says Cass. 1 season. January, says Fitz. Till January, says Madhouse. Probably up to January, says Superstar. Okay, if it's short term, could well be 6 months, could be a year. Gungshi says a year. I think a year kind of makes sense. We know we're trying to get rid of Harry Maguire, and I think Slabo Maguire knows that as well. So, like, if Ten Hag's had a conversation with him at the start of this preseason about taking the captaincy off of him, he's probably also had that conversation with him about what his future is and what sort of lies in the near future for Harry Maguire, i.e., sorry, Harry, you can't be the captain of Manchester United because you're not in my first team plans. You're only going to play a bit part at the football club. Otherwise, he'd probably still be a candidate for captain, wouldn't he? If he's realistically expected to start games. So Ten Hag's probably had that difficult conversation with Harry already to suggest to him, hey, look, you're kind of not part of my plans, mate. Time for you to pack up that big old cranium of yours and do one to Leicester City in the Championship, my friend. Or perhaps, you know, go to West Ham and join that ginger goblin David Moyes. So I'd take him for a year as well, Kate Cadet. I'm with you, but I really genuinely think that Jonny Evans is actually a perfect replacement for Harry Maguire. If we can sell Maguire in this window, and we've replaced him with Jonny Evans, who's an ex-Manchester United player, who's, I don't know what wages he's on, but he's going to cost us very little, really, compared to Slabo. I think it's an absolute masterstroke. It doesn't stop us from going out there in the window and maybe signing a good young prospect of a centre-back as well. But it just gives us that cover and that backup if Harry Maguire does indeed leave the football club. So I think it's a bit of a genius move by Manchester United. Jamza Highlight says 3 months. Yeah, let's rate this signing out of 10. Every signing that we make on this channel, we rate it out of 10 based on how much it's cost us, based on who it is, reputation. Let's give this signing. It's a new signing today, guys. Out of 10. We don't know the length of the signing yet, so, you know, we can't give it a full rating, but let's give it a sign out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, guys. I like it. I think it's actually pretty shrewd by Man United to get this guy back who's played at the football club before, who's an experienced player, who's just as good, if not better, than Harry Maguire, in my opinion, and he's going to be on a lot less money, and it frees up the potential for us to get rid of that slab. It's actually a pretty decent signing, I reckon. 5, 6, 7, says Nathan. 7.5 says Leman. 7 says Aikuraru. 7 says Templar. United says 2. Man like Ryan says 1. Come on, guys. For what it is, it's a decent acquisition. For what it is. Don't listen, he's not Paolo Maldini or anything here. We haven't gone and spent on a huge name player here, but this is a decent acquisition. Yeah, everyone's giving this a sort of 5 or a 6 or a 7. Kate says, if Maguire goes, I'd give this a solid 7 out of 10 signing. Love that, Kate Cadet. Great shout. 10 out of 10, says Ruben. Yeah, Vutinator says 9 because the slab will leave now. Aaron says 7. 10 says Pro Glazer. 6 says Mighty Gamer. 7 says Gungshi. Vincent says, I am right, pig. Well, okay, I don't know what you said there, Vincent Bullock lad. Sorry, but you may well be right, but I would say that chance that the history probably suggests that you're wrong, mate. Hey, do us a favour, guys. We've got 241 legends in here right now. Thank you for joining us for this afternoon show. Do us a favour and smash that like button. 241 legends, 83 likes. You what? That's a Harry Maguire level of performance out there on the likes, guys. We can do better than that, my friends. Bacon Brigade, assemble! Hit that like button if you haven't done so. It's free to smash the likes and it helps this channel out. Give us a boost up there on the algorithm. Take a second to smash a like on it. You know it makes sense. Okay. We would have benefited from Jonny the years we were floundering, says Notos. Spot on. So I'm in the camp that believes if we had just stuck with Chris Smalling and stuck with Jonny Evans instead of trying for those several seasons we did with Lindelof and Maguire, we'd have probably been better off, mate. Like, I agree with what you're saying there, guys. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you agree with that statement. That we'd have probably been better off if we'd have just stuck with Smalling and Evans and those guys rather than even Phil Jones, rather than Harry Maguire and Lindelof. You know, there's obviously very, very much a lot of money we spent on those guys, and they haven't really worked out at all at Manchester United, and certainly we spent 80 million quid on Harry Maguire, and he's just been a big stone flop. Do you know what I'm saying? A big stone flop, guys. So what's that all about? You know, it's like, you can't really... you just can't really justify those twats staying at the football club. I agree with you, though, Steffa here. Yep. Lindelof's better. So in my humble opinion, Lindelof should be staying at Manchester United. I wouldn't get rid of Lindelof anytime soon. He's a decent player. He's got his weaknesses. He's not the best in the air, etc. But he's got a bit of, he's definitely quicker than the slab. I think he fits a Ten Hag system better than Harry Maguire. He's like a leader for Sweden. He's a good standard player. I really do think he's an all right backup rotationary player. He's never going to be the guy to come in and try and really challenge Varane or Martinez for a starting place in the team. But when Varane's injured, Lindelof's a decent guy to come in. He's good on the ball. He's got a good bit of vision about him. He can spray it from deep, and he can play, great passes, which will, which get us going. I think he's actually a really decent problem. Exactly, Dave. You've no problem with Lindelof. He played well with Martinez. Okay, let's have a little vote on the Lindelof ting then, guys. Keep or sell Victor Lindelof. Let's ask the live chat on that one. He's not world class, but he's the sort of player actually that I could just imagine. This might sound a little bit strange, and some people might think I'm delusional, but he's the sort of player that for the right price, I would think like a team like, say, like Barcelona might be interested in Victor Lindelof. You know what I mean? Just because he's that sort of player who's good on the ball, and he's a good passer, and he reads the game reasonably well. That might sound a bit delusional, but honestly, I think there'd be a lot of big teams interested in Lindelof if we weren't gonna have him. Whereas, like Harry Maguire, I don't think anybody wants him. Keep says Robert, Keep says Finksu, Keep says Griffo, Keep says Cass, Keep says Gungshi, and Sefa and Cake. Out says Ezio Auditore. Yeah, well, okay, Jonathan Gallagher, sell if you can get an upgrade. At some point, Manchester United might look to try and improve, and I'm all for improving. And I'd be quite happy to get rid of most of the players in the squad if we could go and get a better player in that position. That's how it works, isn't it? But certainly at this moment in time, he's not a problem area for us. He's a backup or a rotation player. He's going to be somebody that comes in. Exactly there, not unreasonable. Bar support for Malin and Bellerin, precisely, absolutely. As a squad player, they'd probably be interested in that sort of guy, so why shouldn't we have him still? He's a good standard player. I think he's good. Maguire to go, says Neil Walker. So just on that, so there were reports that came out yesterday. Harry Maguire was a target for West Ham and still is a target for West Ham. They're reported to have put a loan, sort of a speculative loan offer in for him, which I think Manchester United rejected. That's if it's to be believed anyway. United obviously trying to sell this guy, but because of what's happened today with United re-signing Jonny Evans here, it just increases the likelihood that Slabby Maguire will go. And if he's floated around the market to different football clubs, you might be able to generate a reasonable transfer fee for him for a permanent transfer. Not a lot of money, 20 to 25, maybe 30 million tops. I would imagine that 30 million is the limit for Harry Maguire because of how much money he's paid weekly. But if you're a mid-table team in the Premier League, you could do a lot worse than Harry Maguire. And as I said before, if you're going to play a certain style of football, which is maybe more low block, Harry Maguire actually is a good defender for that sort of style of team, but he just doesn't fit Ten Hag on what he's trying to do at United with an attacking style where there's going to be a big gap between, say, the goal and the back line at a lot of times. He's got a lot of ground to cover and he's just horrendously slow. So he doesn't fit Manchester United, but certainly a different club could take him on. Let's hope that West Ham, do come knocking for him, or a different club, Newcastle or whoever, would like to take Harry Maguire on for 25 or 30 million pounds. If United could sign Jonny Evans for what what we're spending on him wages wise, it's cost us nothing. Whereas Harry Maguire, if we could sell him for 30 million, what a bit of business that would be. We're trading one melter of a defender for somebody who's probably better than him, and we've got money off the books as well. I mean, it would be a shrewd, genius bit of business from Manchester United to get rid of the slab in this window. Come on, let's hope that it happens and we see the end of Harry Maguire at this club. Let's face it, he's been the shoddiest captain out there since Captain Birdseye, mate. And to be fair, Captain Birdseye's a bit of a baller, mate. I love his fish fingers. But I'm just saying I wouldn't trust him with a ball at his feet. You know what I mean? Or actually, he's the shittest captain since the captain of that submarine that went down looking for the Titanic recently. Absolutely piss poor captaincy going on there from Slabbo Maguire. So with a bit of luck, we can see the end of him. Hey, thank you very much there, Mighty Gamer, for the super chat. Let's get some Sues in there for Mr. Mighty. Thank you, Mighty Gamer. He says, sell Harry Maguire. Don't like him at all. He's a waste. He's better doing a traffic warden job. Mighty Gamer, I don't know if he could actually have the bollocks to do a traffic warden job, bud. That takes a little bit of, that takes a little bit of leadership and you've got to deal with conflict and stuff like that. I don't know if he could do it. Maybe a lollipop man. Maybe a lollipop man. Helping the children cross over the road outside the local school, mate. That's what I could see him doing. And plus, he wouldn't even need to use one of those big signs that says stop, etc. He could just paint it on his big head. You know what I'm saying, guys? Oh, that's harsh but true. Harry Maguire is a glorified lollipop man at Manchester United. Time to do one. Thank you very much, Mighty Gamer. It might sound harsh. People think we're bullying. People think we're being harsh on Harry Maguire here. Okay, maybe it is harsh to say he's got a massive cranium and he doesn't need a lollipop stick to be a lollipop man. I guess that is harsh. But you know what? I'm only bantering, my friends. It's banter. I told you before, this guy gets paid £200,000+ a week to be shit at Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? Goodness me. He's the luckiest human being alive. He doesn't even have to perform at his job. Me, you and everybody else, if you go to work and you perform like an absolute cash merchant, give it a couple of weeks, you're going to get sacked off. Not Harry Maguire. He's got this long contract, this sealed contract, which means that it doesn't matter how shit he is at United. There's no performance-related sort of stuff going on there. He just gets paid the money anyway. He's the luckiest human being alive. So don't feel sorry for Harry Maguire, folks. Anyway. True, though, isn't it, Andrew Cos? You know what I mean? Thank you, Duke of Rodtown. Have a great one, my friend. Hey, afternoon there, Billy. Hope you're doing well, boss. I'm loving this news anyway. I'm loving this news about Jonny Evans. We're going to get onto the latest transfer news in a minute as well. And there is some big news in regards to Hojlund and various other bits of information we've got. But I just had to talk about this at the start of the show. The latest signing of Man United. It's funny, we were talking about who was going to be the next signing yesterday, weren't we? People were saying it's going to be that goalkeeper Zion Suzuki. Others were saying it's going to be Rasmus Hojlund next. It's Jonny Evans, guys. Man United have signed Jonny. Here's Jonny. Watch out for him, guys, at Manchester United replacing the slab. What a signing. Right, okay, guys. Yes, Jonny Evans. Indeed, Artie Wolves. We've signed Jonny Evans, mate. I know it's hard to believe. There's some people getting in here right now going, you what? But that's what the latest reports are anyway. Fabrizio Romano has reported, as you can see from this graphic on the right. Unexpected news of the day. Jonny Evans has signed a short-term deal with Manchester United. This will enable Evans to take part in the upcoming pre-season games. Now, the thing is, we're still waiting for more information on this. I will let you know as soon as that comes through in regards to how long this deal is for Jonny Evans at United. Short-term is short-term. At the most, a short-term deal, I guess, could be 1 year. But 1 year still qualifies as a short-term deal. A 6-month deal, I guess, could be it. But that seems a bit strange to have signed him just the 6 months. And I don't think there's realistically any possibility it's just for pre-season. Why would we do that? That makes very little sense. It's only pre-season. You might as well just blood a youngster if you don't have the numbers available for whatever reason. So it's pretty strange for it to be just for pre-season. So I don't think it's just for pre-season. I think you'll see Jonny Evans, a United player for 1 year, personally. He replaces Harry Maguire, hopefully, and this increases the likelihood that Harry Maguire leaves the football club in this transfer window. And if you're Harry Maguire, just think of it from his point of view. So not only has Ten Hag stripped him of the captaincy, and he's had that conversation with him just a couple of days ago, and that's been sorted out, but they probably spoke about his role in the squad. And so with this signing as well, he knows that his game time is going to be super limited at this club. And Harry has the knowledge that he's got a European Championship coming up with England. Now, I know Gareth Southgate's the type of guy to just nosh off Harry Maguire no matter what. Harry Maguire didn't even play for Manchester United hardly at all this season just gone, and yet he was still getting in the England team. So there's some sort of, I don't know, I don't want to put it out there, but maybe a sexual relationship going on there. I'm joking. What am I talking about? But Gareth Southgate loves Maguire. It's a known fact. He loves Maguire. So, there's obviously something going on there. But The reality is, maybe Harry Maguire doesn't even have to play football, and Maguire still gets selected by Southgate for England. But if you're Maguire, surely you've got to think about the future. Surely you've got to think about, if I want to get in this England setup, I'm going to have to go and move on and play somewhere else and get regular game time. Can't imagine he's actually going to get selected if he's just sixth choice at Manchester United, sat on the bench all year. So for Harry Maguire, surely this gives him the mentality of, I've got to get the fuck out of this football club right now, go and sign for another club, regardless of the money. The money might make it tricky. He's just been given an extra bit of a boost from the Champions League qualification. I think he's, had an extra boost. So he's on £200,000+ a week now at United. Whether or not another club's going to pay that. But look, another club might come in and pay 20 million for Harry Maguire and cover his wages for the future. Or we might be able to do a loan deal for a year, which suits everybody, perhaps with an option to buy, so he can then go out and, play regular football somewhere else at a lesser team, get in the England setup still, and then in a year's time we could cross that bridge when we get to it and try and sell him on then. But obviously, permanent transfer-wise, he is on big money, but it's still, United could do a deal because we could even cover some of his wages for the remainder of the contract, i.e., 10% of his wages. So if a club was prepared to go to £170,000 a week to cover his wages for a new contract on a permanent transfer, maybe United would stump up 30 grand a week just to get this absolute twat off of our books. It's possible. So, fantastic news anyway, guys. It means that Maguire's probably on his way out. Let's be having you. Jonny Evans is once again a red. Very strange, but I do like the news. Thank you, Sing Games. Good to see you, Sing Games. Get in there, you beauty. He says, yes, indeed, he says, give the like a little tickle, people. Watch it grow. Are you sure you're on about the like there, bud? Sounds like something Gareth Southgate once said to Harry Maguire. Sing Games, yes, mate. Smash a like on the video. Watch the stream grow. Boost us up on the algorithm. It's free. It helps us compete with the clickbait wankers and corporation mentalists as well. So please do that. And also give us a retweet. It's pinned to the top of the live chat. You can give us a retweet if you want. So that'll help the channel out no end as well. Thank you very much, boss. Yeah, there you go, Madhouse. He's a real tasty geezer, if you say so. I like your avatar, by the way, of Slabby on the toilet. Great shout. Anyway, right, okay, guys, I guess we better get into the next big news of the day. And this is great news as well. But Jonny Evans, United, I can't get over that. It's completely out of the blue. And I'm all for it. I must admit, I'm all for it. I genuinely believe he's a better player and a better man than Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, see you later on, son. Go and play for Davy Moyes. It's about the right sort of team. Okay, this is the latest news then in regards to Hojlund, folks. Personal terms have been agreed between Manchester United and Rasmus Hojlund. Man United have agreed outlined personal terms for Rasmus Hojlund, which is obviously via Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein confirming this as well. Fantastic news. It looks like we are strongly going in for Rasmus Hojlund now. Ten Hag is targeting Rasmus Hojlund to bring him in as our striking option as an early signing in this transfer window. If we could get him within the next couple of weeks, this transfer window shaping up absolutely lovely. You know what United are like previously, always taking a long time to do business. But if we could get this guy in the next couple of weeks, crikey, it gives us a really good platform to build on for pre-season. And, for the future, of course, this guy would be a great player for us. He's a very young, talented player. Now, he only scored 9 goals last season in Serie A, but we're talking about the future development. What I'm hoping for is that United would be able to sign this guy anyway, and then over the course of the next month or two, get rid of all the deadweight gash players at Manchester United, generate cash, save money off the wages, and reinvest that in other players in this transfer window as well, so it's not just Hojlund that we're signing. I think it would be an excellent acquisition to get this guy in, but we could still do with more after that. I still think we need another striker beyond that. There's talks of Kolo Muani, which we'll get into in a moment as well. And there's Harry Kane. That's not going away anywhere. So I'm just hoping, especially if we had new owners come in after the Glazer shithouses have actually decided to sell, that maybe Man United could have a monumental transfer window and then we would absolutely be transformed for the new season. Just imagine if we had Hojlund come in this transfer window and another top forward like a Harry Kane. That would be insane. It's very wishful thinking, but what a transfer window that would be, especially if we've got everything else that we've just discussed with players like Amrabat coming, Jonny Evans, Of course, the signings we've made in the goal, Andre Onana and Mason Mount and these guys, it would actually be a monumental window. And even just a transfer window that consists of Amrabat, Evans, Andre Onana, Zion Suzuki, Mason Mount, and this guy, Hojlund, would be a pretty excellent window for Man United to give us what we need and what we've been lacking. Obviously, we haven't been able to score goals over the last year. That's been a really big problem for us, or longer than that. We need a proper baller striker. Once Cristiano Ronaldo left, we didn't have that true proven goal scorer. The thing is with Hojlund, though, is he is a goal scorer, and he is obviously a very super talented young player. But like I say, the 9 goals in Serie A, I mean, are we expecting this guy to come in and blast 25 goals in the Premier League in his first season? I wouldn't suggest that's the case. Which is why I think we need to go and get another striker, guys, after Hojlund. But very great news coming in about this, about the personal terms being agreed. Obviously, he's keen to play for Manchester United. And listen, there's reports that there's a gap in the club valuation at the moment. So it will take time to negotiate this deal between Atalanta and United. But talks to continue over the deal. That's what David Ornstein says there. But he also reports that PSG are also pursuing. And reports coming out that Man United in parallel are having a dialogue on Kolo Muani. So, you know, as another option, let's just ask the live chat, guys. I mean, it's actually, you could actually argue that Kolo Muani would be a better signing for us in some ways. He's a bit more experienced. He's maybe scored more goals in the last calendar year. I think he's 24, you know, and he can play in more positions. He is a striker, but he can also play, you know, anywhere across the front three, really. So Kolo Muani can play on the right side for you if you need him to, but he is obviously a striker. So it's interesting. Let's ask the live chat, guys. Muani or Hojlund? Who would you rather see sign at Manchester United? Let's have a little vote. Scott says Muani, 15 league goals last season, 2 Champions League goals. Precisely, that's what I'm saying. Scored more league goals. Kolo Muani says Nas. Muani says Claire Farron. Rasmus ain't going PSG, thinks Ruben. Griffo says both options don't really shout 20 plus goals a season, but we need to take risks up front. Precisely, yeah, and it's like I say, it's about getting a couple of forward players in this window if we possibly can. So Rasmus would be a very good signing for us, I think mostly for the future. In his first season, it would probably be about developing, adapting to the Premier League. It's a very physical league, and he's a young player. So I think the first season, you know, I'd like to think he could get 15 league goals, but 25 plus is an ask. But if you've got a couple of forward options to cover in all competitions, Champions League, the Cups, Premier League, then obviously having both of them would actually make a lot of sense. If you're not going to go and get Kane, having both of these guys would probably make sense. Jay says both. Rasmus says Ruben. Love it, guys. Rasmus says Progreso. Hojlund says McKay. Hojlund says Billy. Haaland says NJ. Hojlund says Cass. And the Vooty. So most people saying Hojlund here. You want Hojlund, says Kate Cadet. Yeah, fair play, fair play. I mean, I'd be happy with either and both, or both. And also either plus Harry Kane or something like that. Listen, Harry Kane's my guy. He's the guy that I would love to bring in at United, but obviously we're talking about Muani and Hojlund at this moment in time. And Hojlund is the guy that United are actually pursuing right now. So we have opened up a dialogue in order to potentially sign Kolo Muani, but the reports are that we've agreed personal terms with Rasmus Hojlund, and we are in a dialogue with Atalanta to try and sign him at a reasonable price. Now, there's reports that Atalanta do not want a swap. We've talked about the possibility of that before, and Jack Talbot here reporting that Hojlund has green-lighted a deal with the club in principle. His agency, SEG, heading the deal through CEO Kees Vos and agent Kees Ploegsma. Atalanta are not keen on taking on Man United players in a swap deal because of the high wages. So that's a bit of a problem. We are seriously paying a lot of players huge wages at Manchester United, and that's a big problem for us in moving players on. But, you know, maybe there is a player we could send in the opposite direction, perhaps to convince them. But it looks like, and reports have been over the last few days, that they're not interested in a swap. So we were talking about maybe Greenwood going in the opposite direction. But for them, that would be a bit of a PR nightmare. But it's less of a PR nightmare than it being in England with the English press. Mason's just had a baby. Probably not that likely. You could perhaps do a deal for somebody like, I don't know, Donny van der Beek maybe going over there if they wanted an extra cheeky player. Could perhaps be the case, but it's unlikely anyway, folks, just to let you know. It's unlikely that there would be an exchange taking place here. It's not to say that it couldn't happen. I wouldn't rule it out entirely, but it does seem like they're just looking for pure cash for this guy. And there is a big valuation gap at the moment, as reported by Alfredo Padula here and David Ornstein and various other outlets, reporting that the gap between Manchester United and Atalanta is significant at this moment in time. But it does seem that United are willing to offer around about 53 to 55 million euros plus bonuses, which maybe could take it past 60 million euros. Atalanta want a base fee of 60 million and then lots and lots of bonuses. So a little while ago, Atalanta reported to want 85 million pounds for that guy. That's just a negotiation tool. That's just them saying, you know, we value this guy at a very high price. Man United wanted to pay 35 million at the start, so hopefully somewhere in the middle. Let's ask the live chat again. How much do you think it takes in terms of euros? Let's use euros for fun. How many euros do you think it takes for Manchester United to convince Atalanta to sell Rasmus Hojlund to us? I'm going to say 55 million euros. I think 55 million euros, which is about, 47 million pounds. About 47 million pounds. 55 million euros. 60 million, says Tim Clernan. 50, says Claire Farron. 55 to 60, says Madhouse. 60, says Tim Clernan. 60, says Cass. Get in there, Neil Duffin. Jonny Evans is a red, mate. Come on. Absolutely mental. Love it, though. See you later on, Slabby Maguire, mate. 55 with 10 bonuses, says Stephen. 60 million, says the Vutinator. 65, says CZ Bam. 65, says Boomy. 52 million, says Neil Duffin. Around 60, says Mataj. Thank you, Aaron. He says, smash the like button for the pig. Yes, hit that like if you're just joining the stream, guys. Okay. Yeah, I think we could get the deal done for that. Atalanta would stand to make a heck of a lot of money on the guy if that's the sort of going rate that we're expecting to pay, 55, 60 million euros. That's loads of money for Atalanta. I don't think they can expect to get any more than that for the guy. As we keep saying, he scored 9 league goals in Serie A last season. Serie A is not what it used to be. It's a bit of a gash league. It's certainly not as strong as the Premier League. There's not as many top teams, and the standard in the Serie A has just slipped over the years big time. The last time Serie A was really great was the 2000s. And obviously it was the best league in the 90s. But right now, it's not the best league. It's just not as good as it used to be. So from that stance, you've got to look at his goal scoring rate last season. And you've got to weigh it up against his future potential. And you've got to come up with a figure. But he's certainly not an £85 million player right now based on that. Based on what he can do for United right now. You've got to take into account his current ability and what he can do for United in this season. But also going forward, in the future, he may well be one of the best forwards in the world. But he's not there yet because he's only just scored 9 league goals in Serie A. So there you go. Come on, United, though. It looks like we're doing business, even though we've got those Glazer shithouses still here at the football club. Hashtag Glazers out. These guys hopefully going very soon. We're still waiting on them to agree sale. But even so, it looks like we're actually ploughing ahead with transfer business. And I guess that's down to the fact that the sale is imminent, and hopefully that's the case. I mean, could you imagine a reality where the Glazers stay, though? That really would be disgusting. That really would be disgusting. Don't even want to think about it. Yeah, there you go. Serie A, pretty corrupt, isn't it? Jonny is a red and Maguire's off to bed, says Jonny. Go on, Jonny. Absolutely, Johnny's a red. So stunning signing that, I think, because it probably means the end of Harry Maguire at United. So just a little bit more on Hojlund very quickly. So as I mentioned, Atalanta don't want a swap deal and there's a big gap in valuation at this moment in time. Fabrizio Romano tweeted out a little update short time ago today and said that Man United are preparing their opening bid for Rasmus Hojlund. So it seems like the bid from United is imminent at the moment and incoming very, very soon. He's told that personal terms are 100% agreed and he wants United. So there's no dramas there with the amount of money or the contract length. There's obviously a verbal sort of agreement going on there. And he would be happy with what Manchester United are proposing for the future. Atalanta told United that they don't want 3 players offered in the deal after the initial talk. So just to confirm what we discussed a moment ago, there's 3 different players reportedly that have been offered in the opposite direction. It could be players like Ahmad Diallo, who we got from Atalanta, who could have been included in maybe some sort of a deal. Could be Donny van der Beek, could be Mason Greenwood, as we've mentioned. Various players offered in the opposite direction to try and make weight for the deal to transfer Hojlund to us. They apparently don't want that. And as Fabrizio reports here, the asking price from Atalanta at this moment in time is around about 65 to 70 million euros. So a significant amount, probably too much money. But that's the asking price. And of course, United will take a period of time now to negotiate with them, try and do the transfer deal for a lot less than that. They'll probably reject Man United's opening offer. They'll probably ask for 65 or 70 million. Then we'll come in with another transfer offer. They'll probably reject that. And then we'll go back with a third. And then we'll probably hopefully reach an agreement, just like we did with Onana and Inter, obviously. So I'm expecting, 50, 55 million, 60 million euros tops for what Manchester United would pay for this lad. And that would be a fantastic acquisition for the club. This is who Ten Hag obviously wants. He's got blistering pace. He's one of the fastest players clocked last season, I believe, in Serie A. He's obviously very, very quick, and I think Ten Hag can utilise him for the style of football that he wants to play. And he's a physical guy as well. He's big. He's quick. He's just a really decent sort of specimen at 20 years of age to develop and turn into a great player. City have got their Hojlund. What better way to counter it than Hojlund? You know what I mean? For the future. Obviously, right now, he's not as prolific and nowhere near in terms of goal scoring as Hojlund. But for the future, he could well be an excellent player. So, great stuff there, guys. As I mentioned previously as well, there is going to be Kolo Muani discussions. We'll get onto that in a moment. Kate Cadet's just asked an interesting question, which I've got the information for. Kate Cadet says, how much did we pay for Onana, or how much did he set us back in the end? So it was what we reported a long time ago. Good few days ago, we were talking about this. It's 55 million euros. So here's the confirmation from David Ornstein, who's a tier 1 source via The Athletic, which says that Manchester United have agreed a 51 million euro deal. Fee plus 4 million euros in add-ons for Inter Milan's Andre Onana. So it was 55 million euros, which is about 47 million pounds. That is the final official amount paid to Inter Milan to bring in Andre Onana. What's my name? Onana. What's my game? And actually, it's probably about right, for the sort of player that we're getting, coming into his prime, 27 years of age. Transformative signing for Ten Hag's style of play at United as well. And like Sefa here says, they're cheaper than Kepa. Absolutely. Kepa was like 80 million or something, wasn't he? So yes, it's actually it's a decent bit of business for Manchester United in the end. It's not ridiculously cheap, but in the same token, it's around about the sort of figure. Maybe we slightly overpaid for him, but not really. We've done a good bit of business there for Andre Onana. So very happy to announce that that's the amount of money, 55 million. And then Kolo Muani, as I mentioned earlier, just to talk about him as an option. Man United are holding parallel discussions with Randall Kolo Muani and to Rasmus Hojlund. So perhaps it would be a case of trying to get both of them. But I think it's just maybe an option in case Rasmus Hojlund, we can't strike up a deal with Atalanta for Rasmus. But exciting times, guys. It looks like Man United are actually pulling their finger out a little bit in this transfer window now. And, other reports on Onana very quickly as well, just to give you the latest on Onana and the timeframes of medicals and things like that. So this is from Fab a couple of hours ago as well. It says, understand Andre Onana will travel to Manchester United later today. Plan confirmed. Understand he will land in England around 7 p.m. UK time, so just in a couple of hours. Medical and contract signing between Wednesday and Tuesday. Contract until 2028 plus an option for an extra year. 51 million fee plus 4 million in add-ons. That is the confirmation there. So get in there, my friends. Andre Onana is coming to United tonight. He will conduct his medical very soon. Could well be tonight, probably be tomorrow. And then he should be announced as a Manchester United player, hopefully before the weekend, hopefully on Thursday or Friday, sometime around there. So going to be excellent. Going to be excellent, guys, I think, to transform the way we play. And that means that he probably won't be in for the Lyon game, obviously, but it means that we'll be able to see him in that USA tour playing for us, maybe in the Dortmund game and some of the other games, obviously. It's going to be excellent. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. We've had De Gea at the club for a while, who's been a great keeper, but this is actually somebody that's going to change the way that we play fundamentally, and that's exciting. I can't wait to see Manchester United getting back to being more high up, more attacking, more pressing, more of an attacking type team. I think it's going to be excellent. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this, guys. Yeah, Stefan Wang, unbelievable. Absolutely, Luan France. Brighton rejected 70 million For Caicedo, yeah, they're reported to want 80 million for the guy. I think they'll end up paying that, to be honest. If they've got 60 million for Mount and 65 million for Havertz, I think they'll end up paying 80 for Caicedo. It's probably not crazy to think that will happen. But yeah, they're holding out for a bit more money, aren't they? Onana's a great goalkeeper, says Emperor Jerome. Yeah, well, what I like about him is, if you look at statistically speaking, he seems very impressive. Last season, nobody kept more clean sheets in the Champions League than Andre Onana. And obviously, we're coming into the Champions League this season and we're looking to obviously do well. And he's a player that's got experience in the Champions League, just playing recently. And it helps us, obviously, to have confidence going into that tournament, having somebody that's comfortable in that tournament. It might sound a bit silly, but it is the pantheon. It's the pantheon of greats. It's the premier competition in the Champions is the Champions League. So you want somebody with some experience there. And there's a slightly different sort of way you have to go about things in the continental football as well. So excellent that we've got this guy coming in. Plus, he's got that short passing ability. He's got that long passing ability. He's got that ability for us to sweep up at the back. That ability to, to press higher up from Manchester United as well, which will change the way we play. Hey, get in there, Jim Watkins. Welcome in the stream, though, boss. Hey, better late than never, my friend. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so. We're approaching 200 likes, guys. Let's aim for 250 likes for today's stream. Please do hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so. It takes a second to like the stream and it's free. So drop a little like on it. Get yourself in there. Give us a retweet. The tweet's pinned to the top of the live chat. We'll shout everyone out at the end of this show who gives us a retweet. So if you're on Twitter, give us a follow at Flying Pig United and retweet the latest tweet. Nice one. Yeah, McKay says, yes, we have Heaton and Evans at United. It's 2010 again. Goodness me. Maybe we should, I don't know, maybe we should sign Chicharito Hernandez as a backup. Jonny Evans signing for United. FJT, yes, mate. He actually already has signed for United. I know, it's quite hard to believe, isn't it, mate? So, okay, breaking news this afternoon for anybody who's just getting in the stream. It's quite hard to believe, isn't it? But Jonny Evans has signed for United. Let me just go over on Twitter and see if we can find any more information out about this. But there's the graphic up on the screen. And, it's very much a surprise that we've signed this guy, but it does obviously increase the likelihood that Harry Maguire goes out. Fabrizio Romano an hour ago reporting that Jonny Evans has signed a short-term deal with Manchester United and it will enable Evans to take part in upcoming pre-season games. Short-term deal could mean many things. We're waiting for confirmation of how long it will be. Listen to this. So an hour ago, Erik Ten Hag, this is on manunited.com, Erik Ten Hag confirmed the travelling squad for Manchester United's upcoming pre-season game in Edinburgh and San Diego. And Jonny Evans is in that squad. Jonny Evans is in that squad. So he's been capped 102 times for Northern Ireland. He's travelled to Edinburgh as part of the group to face Lyon on Wednesday. So literally we could see Jonny Evans playing for Manchester United tomorrow, which is mental. He's also taken part in a number of first team sessions and impressed Erik Ten Hag and the coaching staff, which is why we've signed him. And it says he'll then join up with the academy group that will travel to San Diego while the first team squad are in New York. So there you go. That's the latest. This is on manunited.com. He played 198 games for the first team before departing the club in 2015. He won the Champions League, the Club World Cup, 3 Premier League titles and 2 League Cups. So pretty awesome. It says fellow defenders Tyrell Malacia and Reece Bennett have picked up injuries that will unfortunately rule them out of the game against Lyon and the Tour 2023 in the United States. The remaining players will train at Carrington on Wednesday before travelling to New York. A full Tour 2023 party will then be announced first on our official club channels. So the travelling squad for the Edinburgh game is Bishop, Harrison and Kovar in goal. Defenders Jonny Evans, Alvaro Fernandez, Will Fish, Gerardo, Lissandro Martinez, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Brandon Williams. I won't list everybody in the team, but it doesn't confirm how long Jonny Evans has signed up for, but he is in the travelling squad for the game in Edinburgh, guys. It's a mind-blown situation. I mean, we'll wait and find out. I'm sure it won't be too long until we know the the details of this contract and how long he is actually going to be a Manchester United player for. But I'd be surprised if it's anything less than 6 months or anything less than a year, really. I think he probably has signed a year contract, a 1-year deal. It's not a risk for Manchester United, is it? He'll only be playing a backup. He's actually a good standard player who's played for Manchester United and won many things in the past. It's an excellent transfer. Chubba says Pog back next. Oh, goodness me. You know what? Hell no. God, no. Now you're going too far. I mean, Juventus reportedly would sell the guy for as little as 10 million euros because he's just a complete weight around their ankle. And he's on big money and, he's doing that naff on and he's appeared 6 times for them since he signed for them. And he's just an injury-prone motor. But no, now you're going too far, mate. Now you're going too far. We don't want Pogba back. That would be sickening. But that is the news, yeah. Ollie at the wheel again, says Keshav. Hey, what's going on, Eddie's Football Waffle? Great to see you, mate. He says, big up, Piggo and the Brigade. Dropping in to say hi and like the video. Glazers out. Let's get Glazers out in there for Eddie's Football Waffle. Shout out to you, my friend. And what do you think about Jonny Evans re-signing for Man United? It's such a crazy addition to the football club. That's awesome, Eddie. We got 200 likes on the stream. So, come on. Everyone, thank you very much for hitting that like button. We smashed 200. Keep hitting the likes. That's awesome. Exactly, Vutinator. Saudi are not even interested in Pogshite. I tell you who Saudi are interested in, just very quickly, that it's all going off. Fabrizio Romano reporting that Alex Telles doesn't join Al Nassr on a free transfer, told Manchester United will get a fee for the Brazilian left-back. So he is going to Saudi Arabia, it looks like. Exclusive, Al Nassr are closing in on a deal to sign Alex Telles from Man United. Here we go soon. There's a verbal agreement now in place between the two clubs, waiting for the documentation and check details, etc. Al Nassr want both Fofana and Telles to join in the next days. So it looks like we've got Telles off the books as well. Telles is joining Al Nassr. So that's a good bit of business for Manchester United. It's not a free transfer. It does look like we're getting some money for him. And for a player who we signed for, 12 million, who stagnated at the football club, went out on loan the last season, if we can even get 5 or 6 million quid for him, it's okay with me. So hopefully we got a decent sort of transfer fee for him. And that's one player off the books. Now to get the likes of McTominay to West Ham. Now to get the likes of Maguire to West Ham. To get players like Donny van der Beek out the team. Henderson to Nottingham Forest. We can actually do a good bit of business now to generate a fair bit of cash. Reinvest that in other areas of the team and end up with a really meaty looking squad for the new season. Yeah, oh, thank you, McNabs. Appreciate you. Says, looking healthy, lad. I'm actually really under the weather right now. I've got a snotty McTominay vibe going on at the moment. I've got a cold, but thanks very much for that, bro. I weighed 14 stone 12 this morning, guys. 14 stone 12. Crazy. Absolutely crazy, isn't it? Unbelievable. I know. I was 22 stone 7 this time last year. 14 stone 12, mate, this morning. Hopefully we see Manchester United cutting away at the unnecessary flab in the team. You know what I mean? Getting rid of players, signing the right players, making the team better. It would be excellent. Yeah, Superstar, we reported that yesterday. I know Rashford signed his new deal at the football club, 5-year deal. Brilliant stuff. Hopefully Rashford is obviously going to continue in the vein of form that he showed last season for us. Thank you, United Till I Die. So 22 stone to 14 stone, getting big. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Gungshi. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you guys. Looking fit. Thank you, Max Lorentz. Yeah, Legacy says lost more weight than my fat ass. Well, anybody could do it, I'll soon have a 6-pack, says Jonathan. I've already got a 6-pack, mate. A 6-pack of rolls. But no. Yeah, no, one day we'll see about that, my friend. Anyway, taking my fitness more seriously than Jadon Sancho, that's for sure. Crikey, you've seen him? He's a meaty individual. Thank you, Rocky. FJT says you're skinny now. I'm getting there. Thank you, Johnny. Right, yes, Billy, great list here, man. He says, Bailey, Telles, Maguire, Henderson, Fred, possibly McTominay. Should be 100 million plus, then Kane, boom. That's the sort of ambition I'm looking for, mate. And actually, when you consider how much these guys are being paid, you end up saving a heck of a lot more money than that, don't you? So let's just go through the wages of those players you've mentioned there. There's also other players we could get off the book still, like Donny van der Beek, who's not in that list as well. But Bailly, what's he on? I'm not sure actually what Bailly's on. 80k a week? Don't know. Telles, well, I don't know what he's on either, to be honest. 100k a week. Maguire's on £200,000 plus a week. Henderson's on 130. Fred's on quite a lot. I think he's on like 130 or 150 maybe. McTominay, not sure what he's on. I think he's on a bit less, like 80k a week or something. Could be wrong. Don't know exactly what all these guys are on. But you add that up, and that is well over £500,000 a week of wages saved, which means that, you could easily justify going to spend 100 million on Kane, who would be paid a few £100,000 a week. And you're saving money every single week on the wages. And if you save 300,000, say it's 600k we could save by getting rid of those players. If you pay Kane £300,000 a week and you're saving £300,000 a week, that's 1.2 million saved every single year, which is, like 14 odd million pounds a year that you would save. So you could justify it to buy Kane over the next few years, get rid of those players off the books, pay him a few £100,000 a week, then you're saving money. So I think it would be excellent to see Manchester United have that sort of ability to mix things up in this transfer window. That'd be brilliant. Mark says the fantasy of getting loser-prone Melt Kane. Well, we know your feelings on him, Mark. We know your feelings on him, that you're not a fan of Harry Kane. Fair enough. I don't get it. He's obviously a great player who scored 30 goals for Spurs last season. For Spurs last season. He doesn't win things because he's a Spurs and England melter, but he could do that going to a different football club. Listen, if he played for Man City last season, do you think Man City wouldn't have won anything? Of course they would have done. And he would have probably scored as many goals as Haaland, if not more, because City are a more dominant team who are going to create more chances for him than Tottenham. So I think you're being a little bit silly there, mate. He would obviously score a lot of goals for Man United if we signed him, and he would probably go on to win some things. It's not his fault that he's a Spurs melter and doesn't win any things because of them. But anyway, listen, I don't even really want to talk about Kane because Kane is unrealistic. You've said fantasy there. It is a fantasy. It's a fantasy for me to get Kane at the football club because he's so good, but it's a fantasy because Spurs are unrealistically asking for £120 million for him. And United won't pay that, I don't think, for Harry Kane. Nobody will. Why would you pay that money when you could go and get him in a year's time on a free transfer? I mean, you would pay it, I guess, just to have the exclusive rights of getting him right now. And if you want to get your man, go and get him. But if Spurs want to sell this guy, they've got to realistically take a significant amount less than that. Maybe 100 million is the figure that it costs to get this guy. When you factor in that players like Mason Mount are going for £60 million when they've only got 1 year left on his contract, maybe Kane is worth 100 million, even with only a year left on his contract, because he will provide you exactly what you need in the team. But seemingly, Ten Hag is not interested in Kane at this moment anyway for the price that's involved. And maybe stylistically, he's not interested in him. Like you said yesterday, actually, Mark, he's interested in a different style of player. And Kane is a slow player. He's not the best at the pressing aspect. And it looks like Ten Hag does want to go forward playing a new pressing style. We've got a goalkeeper that can even help with the pressing style further up the pitch. We've got Rashford and Anthony and these guys. So I think, Hojlund fits in with that sort of philosophy, doesn't he? And from all the accounts today, all the reports coming out, Man United are working on Rasmus Hojlund. So Kane's on the back burner. He may well be free to join Bayern Munich. And stylistically, Ten Hag maybe doesn't want Harry Kane. I personally think there's many ways to play football. And if you had Harry Kane, a player of that calibre in your side, you could certainly justify playing him in the team. But we did see with Cristiano Ronaldo later on in his time at Man United, when Ten Hag first came in, that stylistically Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't necessarily the best fit for what Ten Hag was hoping to do. So I can understand maybe not wanting Kane if you're Ten Hag, and maybe wanting somebody who can press, somebody who's more physical, somebody who's stronger, quicker, all that kind of thing. So it does make sense what you're saying there, but I still would take Kane in a heartbeat because of how many goals he can score and his proven Premier League record is undeniable. 30 goals in the Premier League last season compared to 9 in Serie A for Rasmus Hojlund. I mean, that speaks volumes. Plus, Kane can help other players play off of him. Like, he can drop deep, he can pass the ball, he's got the vision, he's got the ability to play players in, and so therefore you could see more goals from the likes of Rashford and Anthony being served up as well, from having Kane up the top of the pitch. So, there's more than one way to go about playing football. And if you could sign Harry Kane, we should sign Harry Kane. Smash a 1 in the chat if you'd like United to sign Harry Kane. Smash a 2 if you really do not want him. Let's have a little vote. Okay, so just a couple of little things to discuss very quickly, and then we will get into covering all of the news that we've just discussed. And then we will, we'll have a little recap of what we've discussed. Then we'll get into the live chat for a Q&A. So as you can see from the live chat there, guys, there's lots of ones coming in the live chat. People would like to take Harry Kane, and a few twos that suggest people don't want Kane. But for me, he's perfect for what we're trying to do, which is score goals in the Premier League. Tactician Tom, my brother, he says, what is Rashi's contract? Okay, so there's various reports coming out that Rashi's contract is around about £325,000 a week. But again, have to wait for further confirmation of that. Some people suggest 350. Some people have said 400k a week. Billy here says Rashford's contract 350k a week until 2028 with an option for a further year. So, it's around about that amount of money. And there could well be bonuses, add-ons, that kind of thing, which take it up to slightly higher, depending on his performances. So, yeah, I'd say that's about right, Billy. I think somewhere between 325, 375k a week is what Rashford's officially on. But, like we mentioned, some people say that's too expensive. But like we mentioned, David De Gea has just left Manchester United. And he was on £375,000 a week, and he was a goalkeeper. Jadon Sancho is understood to be on £350,000 a week. Sorry, £350,000 a week at the club, which means that you can certainly justify Rashford. Oh, hang on a second. 3 minutes ago, ManUnited.com. Rashford signs new contract. Check this out. There's a new here it is, just as I say that. There's a confirmation on ManUnited.com 3 minutes ago posted on their official website. ManUnited.com. Marcus Rashford has signed a new contract that will extend his stay with Manchester United until 30th of June 2028. The Wythenshawe-born academy graduate has made 359 appearances and scored 123 goals for the club since making his debut in 2016. That's unreal, isn't it? Wow. 359 appearances he's had for Man United already, and he's only 25. That's brilliant. He capped off a fantastic 22-23 season in which he scored 30 goals by winning the Samat Busby Award, Player of the Year Award, for the club. Marcus Rashford said, I joined Manchester United as a 7-year-old boy with a dream. That same passion, pride and determination to succeed still drives me every time I have the honour of wearing the shirt. I've already had some amazing experiences at this incredible club, but there is still a lot more to achieve, and I remain relentlessly determined to win more trophies in the years ahead. As a United fan all my life, I know the responsibility that comes with representing this badge and feel the highs and lows as much as anyone. I can assure you that I will give everything to help the team reach the level we're capable of, and I can feel the same determination around the dressing room. I couldn't be more excited for the future under this manager. Get in there, my son. John Murtaugh, Manchester United football director, said, ever since he joined our academy 18 years ago, Marcus has epitomised what it takes to succeed as a Manchester United player. He's a brilliant talent, but also humble, dedicated and driven. As he entered his prime years, we know there is still so much more to come from him, and we can see the hunger that Marcus feels to achieve the highest levels of success here at United. Working with Erik ten Hag and his coaches in the perfect environment for Marcus Rashford will continue to develop into one of the best attacking players in the world. Come on, get in there, my son. Absolutely beautiful. That's beautiful. Absolutely lovely stuff. So yes, he signed. We knew that he signed obviously yesterday, last night. Fabrizio Romano confirmed, and David Ornstein confirmed that he had actually signed the contract. So we knew that was coming. Old news, says Tactician Tom, knew he signed 10 minutes ago. Well, actually, we knew he signed last night. So you're a bit slow on the uptake there, mate. You know what I mean? Actually, we knew he signed last night. We reported it on the channel that he'd actually signed the contract last night, and he was coming in. So, no need to try and be clever there, mate. You know what I mean? You've made yourself look like a mug there. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we reported it yesterday that Marcus Rashford had signed. So, yes, great stuff. 5-year contract. Expected to be around about £350,000 a week by the sounds of it. Excellent, guys. I'm really buzzing for Marcus Rashford and the news there that, that we've got this guy. Happy days, guys. He's Manc born and bred. Some people think that he's not worth that, but me personally, when you factor in how much he'd be worth on the open market, i.e. £100 million, all the teams that would be queuing up to sign Marcus when his contract runs out on a free, which is everybody, every single team in the world would be interested in a piece of Marcus if he wasn't a Man United player, then it's a really good bit of business for Man United to save him. Plus, if Man United did let him go, we just have to go out there, and sign another player, a replacement. And if we had to do that, we'd have to spend goodness knows how much, 70 million more, even more to sign a player who's anywhere near Marcus Rashford. For Marcus Rashford, what he's representing for Manchester United is academy products being blooded at Manchester United and turning into star players. It used to be a common occurrence at Man United back under the Fergie days, but in these days there's not that many of them. You can count them on one hand, the amount of players that have really broken through to Manchester United's first team from the academy. There's really not that many of them. We need to keep players like Marcus Rashford because he's part of the blueprint of Manchester United. And he's a good enough player as well. And actually, for the next 5 years, if you think about him from 25 to 30, he probably will be one of the best players, in the world in his position. So it's a great piece of business for us. Rashi sign is a good thing, but still Glazers. Yeah, Glazer shithouses are scum. Get rid. Fat Chinese Gaming, hello to you, bro. He says, hope you are well. Is that Jonny Evans, the one that used to play for United? It is. It is Fat Chinese Gaming. Yes, mate. I know it's kind of hard to believe, isn't it? But we are having him at the football club. And absolutely, Joshua, yes, he says, Pig, can you see Jonny Evans playing a game for us in the preseason? Probably at Old Trafford v Lens. Well, that game's not... Is that game at Old Trafford? Hang on a second. Right. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, I can. That's a good shout. Lons. Sorry, I got my Lonzas and Leons mixed up there, bro. Some French team, big on croissants and starting with L. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're absolutely right, bud. Yes, I can see that. My friend. Absolutely. Hey, Callum Hayes, thanks for being a member for 1 year. Happy anniversary, my friend. Come on, get the love hearts. That's a wonky love heart right there. Get the love hearts in the live chat there for Callum Hayes, who's been a member of this channel for 1 year. Thank you so much, Callum, for supporting this channel for a year, bro. He says, really happy with the window so far. Glazers out. Spot on, my friend. Yeah, so far, Onanas are red. Mounts are red. We've also, looks like we're trying to do business for backup goalie and Zion Suzuki, which means we can get rid of Henderson. We've just re-signed Jonny Evans on a short-term deal, which means we can get rid of Harry Maguire. And we're still looking to add to the ranks in the short term as well, not just near the end of the window. But it looks like we're trying to really do business for Rasmus Hojlund and get him in the club. So it's quite hard to believe, but it is official on manunited.com that we've got Jonny Evans. Let me just do a quick rundown of what we discussed in this video so far for anybody who's just got in here at the end of the stream. And then we'll get into the live chat for a big Q&A, see what you legends are saying, and cover any more breaking news in the time being as well. But we'll just cover what's going on. Do us a favour, smash that like button. Also, give us a retweet. We'll shout everyone out who's retweeted us in a moment as well before we get into the chat. And let's get into a recap of the day's transfer news. So Jonny Evans has signed a deal at Manchester United. He's going to be travelling with the squad for the pre-season tour. Absolutely happy days, guys. It's obviously a short-term deal. We don't know the ins and outs of it as of right now. Could be 6 months, could be a year. I would expect it to be 1 year, to be fair, in regards to Jonny Evans signing a new contract. This adds fuel to the fire that Harry Maguire will be moved on as a Man United player in this transfer window, and that his place at United is very much in question. He has gone even further down the pecking order. Ten Hag obviously stripped the captaincy off of him, but he's probably had that conversation with him about his role in the side, and that he's going to be featuring a very limited amount of times, and that they want to try and sell him. So Harry Maguire could be on his way out. Let's hope there's an offer that comes in very, very soon. Absolutely, Mikey, you're spot on. Harry Maguire is now 6th choice centre-back. 6th choice centre-back for the Slab. Great news on Jonny Evans. In regards to Hojlund, reports were that Man United have agreed an outline on personal terms for Rasmus Hojlund. The gap in club valuations is still there, obviously, and it would take time to agree on a transfer fee between the two clubs for Hojlund. But Hojlund wants to be a Manchester United player, and he's agreed personal terms with Manchester United. No dramas there. Fabrizio reported the same a bit earlier, that said that Man United are preparing the opening bid for Rasmus Hojlund, so that's expected soon. And of course, there will be a negotiation period where it's going to take a little bit of time to agree that fee. So they want quite a lot of money. It's understood that they want about 70 million euros. Man United want to pay a lot less than that, but they'll probably meet somewhere in the middle. Fab said that he's told personal terms are 100% agreed and he wants United. Atalanta told United that they don't want 3 players offered in the deal after initial talks, so potential exchange of a player, maybe Greenwood, maybe Amad Diallo, maybe Jonny or someone. They just want an outright cash deal. Atalanta's price is around 65 or 70 million euros. Perhaps United could reach an agreement for somewhere around about 50 million euros or 55 million euros. The next step is an official bid, which is expected to come in very, very soon. And more confirmation there that they do not want a swap deal and the valuation gap is significant, but hopefully there can be a deal agreed. And then Kolo Muani discussions. We're apparently having parallel discussions with Randall Kolo Muani to Rasmus Hojlund. So at the same time as doing discussions for Hojlund, we're also discussing the prospect of maybe bringing in Kolo Muani. So we don't know if that's as well as, it probably isn't. It's probably instead of if Atalanta are just being too greedy and won't accept a reasonable offer. But maybe this is also just PR guff in order to try and put a little bit of pressure on Atalanta to say to them, hey, look, if you aren't going to sell us Rasmus Hojlund for a reasonable price, then we're going to look elsewhere pretty sharpish because we want to do early business. So it might just be a little bit of a pressure tool here to try and convince Atalanta to do business with us and play ball. Happy days. So we're expecting a bid in for Hojlund very, very soon, and there are discussions taking place for Kolo Muani as well. Exciting times. Andre Onana, latest on him. The fee has been confirmed. Everyone confirming that the fee between Manchester United and Inter Milan is 55 million euros in total, which seems to be 51 million euros up front with 4 million euros down the line in add-ons. So that is confirmed official. And also Onana is travelling today. Fabrizio Romano reports that understand that Andre Onana will travel to Manchester later today. Plan confirmed. Understand he will land in England around about 7 p.m. UK time. The medical and contract signing will be between Wednesday and Tuesday. So, you know, certainly hopefully looking for medical to be conducted tomorrow, and maybe he'll be unveiled sometime around the weekend or hopefully before the weekend. And he confirms also that it's 51 million euros plus 4 million euros in add-ons, and that the contract is a 5-year contract initially until 2028, but we've got an option to extend for an extra year to keep until 2029. So that's the latest on Andre Onana. Alex Telles to Al Nassr. Looks like a very, very much a go. Fab reported that Al Nassr were closing in on a deal to sign Alex Telles from Man United. And the here we go will be soon. There's a verbal agreement now in place between the two clubs. Waiting for the documents and check the details. Al Nassr want both Fofana and Telles to join in the next few days. And he then further confirmed that Alex Telles doesn't join Al Nassr on a free transfer. He's told that United will get a fee for the Brazilian left back. So more clarity on the exact number after documents checked today. Exclusive news confirmed. Telles will go to the Saudi League. So there you go. We've got a player sale reported as done there. Also reports that we're monitoring Goretzka. You know, we're still looking at Sofian Amrabat. I think it's a bit speculative, but there are some reports about that. And then also it's expected that Nottingham Forest will open talks with Man United over Dean Henderson after the David De Gea situation on Andre Onana pursuit. It's all basically all done now. So happy days. That's the news. Hey, we got a super chat from K Cadet. He says, how many player exits do you expect, Pig? Thank you very much, the K Cadet there. Why can't I get this up on the screen? That's weird. My thing's just forgotten itself. Hang on a second. That's bizarre. K Cadet, mate, thank you very much for your super chat there, bro. I'm trying to get up on the screen, but it's not working. Let me press that. And then that. No, it's not working. That's bizarre. Right, let me close that and then get it back again. 2 seconds. K Cadet, thank you so much. I expect 5 player exits between now and the end of the transfer window. 5 player exits. Let's ask the chat, how many players do you think will sell between now and the end of this current transfer window, guys? Let us know your thoughts and opinions. But I think I could see us get rid of Henderson, Maguire, McTominay, Telles, Fred. You know, I think at least 5, actually. You could even see Donny van der Beek, a few other players maybe even sold. We could have a full-on good old-fashioned clear-out between now and the end of the season. It could be the case. So, yes, very much think that that's a very likely thing and a likely outcome. Give me one moment, guys. It's just going to go black for a second while I update this thing real quick. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, now I can get the highlighter comment up. Boom. And it's not worked. It's not pigging worked, guys. That's weird. Anyway, very strange. Not sure what's going on there. But hey, we'll try and figure that out very, very soon. Oh, wait a second. Ah. Okay, I see what I did. I just had an absolute melt. I accidentally made the source invisible. Right, there's your comment there, Cake. He says, how many player exits do you expect? Thank you for the super chat, mate. I appreciate you. Technical difficulties. Gungshi says at least 4 or 5. Superstars going at least 5. Mikhail Kramer says 8. By the way, folks, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to chat and have your say. We're on here daily with the United News. Smash the like. We're 1 like away from 250, guys. Can we hit 300 likes before the end of this show? That would be excellent. Twat that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. We are on the way to 72,200 subscribers, so make sure you get yourself involved by subscribing to the channel if it's your first time here, and thank you for joining. Now it's time to get into the Q&A. Oh, but before we do, let's go over to Twitter and check out the latest legends who've retweeted the show. The tweet is pinned to the top of the live chat. Every little helps in regards to retweeting the show, so thank you everyone who's done that. We've got 18 retweets today. That is awesome, guys. Thank you everyone who's retweeted. Aaron Homeyard, Erwan Abdullah, Feline Fur, David Johnston, J United and Gaming, Paul Nangle, Sing Games, Vincent Bullock, John Boy Cat, Billy, Kieran Watts, Ray Jones, Ziggy Sawdust, Gina Varney, Slippery Jack, Boomy, Luan France, and Mark. Thank you, every single one of you legends, for retweeting the show over there on Twitter, guys. That does mean a lot to me and helps the show get out there in the old ether. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much indeed. Right, it's time for the Q&A now, everyone. Billy says, Pig, do you see Martial stay in this window? Yes, I do, mate. Of course I do. Who wants that guy? He's the French Darren Anderton. He's always injured, and also he's just inconsistent. And plus, he's on big money, 200,000 pounds a week for Tony Martial. Crazy money that guy's on. So it just doesn't really add up that anybody's going to want to take him. I could maybe see him go out on loan at some point, but he's injured at the moment, isn't he? Which means that it's less likely that we can do some business to sell him. And he's injured. So I could see him maybe going out on loan again, like we loaned him out to Sevilla, but just don't understand it. Thank you, FCG, for retweeting the show also. Just don't think there's anybody that wants him. I think we're stuck with Martial. And he's kind of a decent player, you know, but he is infuriating in the sense that he just doesn't produce it that often. And he's always injured. Thank you, Harry Utomo, for subscribing to the channel. Nice one, Harry. Welcome in, mate. Cheers for that. If you're new like Harry, hit the subscribe button. So I've got a hair in my mouth, guys. Ugh. Evans is a 10-year deal, says Stefan. Dave, welcome in. Dave, you legend. He says, do you think our top 4 finish has definitely boosted our transfer window this time round? Would we have got Onana and Mount if we didn't? I think it's definitely the case, Dave. I mean, United's a monumentous, huge club, but certainly if you've got Champions League football, it increases the likelihood that players are going to want to come to you, particularly players that are already playing in the Champions League. So if you think about players like Onana, who literally was in the final of the Champions League last season, would he really been as keen to have left that if, if we hadn't have had Champions League football? And then players like Mason Mount, teams that don't have Champions League football. So Chelsea don't have Champions League football, and Mason Mount can have Champions League football by coming to Manchester United. That is a big pull. It's a big draw for these players to want to come. So I think absolutely it makes a difference. United's a huge club. We can sign players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic when we don't have Champions League football. You know, we're a huge club. But still, though, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. And it's helped Arsenal as well. You know, Arsenal, the fact that they got Champions League football helps them signing players. It just helps anyone. If you were playing in the Champions League, it's going to help. Rajat says, why we re-signed Jonny Evans? Don't get it. Because he's a good player, and he's a good player that can come in and do a job for us in, you know, a number of competitions at centre-back, and he's got experience. This guy won lots of trophies for Manchester United. He's a good player. He's a better player than Harry Maguire, in my opinion, honestly. So, you know, we've improved our defensive options. It's a good option. You know, he's not going to get ahead of, I don't think, Lindelof, Varane, and Martinez. But he is now probably the 4th choice at centre-back. And with Malacia being injured, means Luke Shaw's obviously left-back, and Luke Shaw's, you can't expect to play him at centre-back all the time. That was just because it was a better option than playing Harry Maguire. So, yeah, it's actually a good signing, I think, for us. Definitely cool on the ball, good passer. He's got super bags of experience as well. And at United, he knows what it's about to be a Man United player. And he knows what it's about to be a winner at Manchester United, which, you know, a lot of these players can't really say. So we've just lost David De Gea, who I think was the only player we had in the squad remaining who had actually won the Premier League as a Man United player. Correct me if I'm wrong. But now we've actually got Jonny Evans back, who's won several. So, you know, he's a red, absolutely, FJT. He's a red. He's got the experience of winning at United, and that can be invaluable. I think it can be invaluable, that. Exactly, United till I die. 1 year deal, it's all right. More depth and understands United. Precisely. More depth, better option than Harry. It means we can pocket some cash by selling Harry Maguire and get his wages off of our books, hopefully. And we've actually improved our defensive options. So I think it's kind of a bit of a genius deal. Phil Jones won the Prem. He's not here anymore, Ryan. He's gone. Hey, thank you, Tin Legs Tony, for getting in here with your 15-month membership. I appreciate you, legend. Get in there, my G. He says, sorry, but Evans is gash. Tin Legs Tony, thank you for your 15-month membership comment. I think you're asking a bit too much of Jonny Evans here. Jonny Evans, for a start, is not gash. Jonny Evans, even as recently as, you know, for Leicester, has shown what a good centre-back he actually still is. Yeah, he's old now. He's actually old now, but goodness me. I mean, I would rather have him than £80 million signing Harry Maguire. Maybe that's just me. Let's ask the live chat, guys. Who would you rather see lining up at the centre-back position in your team? Let's say Varane and Martinez are injured. Who would you rather see come in? Jonny Evans or Harry Maguire? Just be honest with me. You know, just be honest and answer the question in the chat, guys. Who would you rather play at the back, see at the back lining up for us? Evans or Maguire? Fire up, says Evans. Evans for sure, says Jabba. Evans, says United Tactical and Boomy and Gregory Burke. Precisely. Evans, says Cosmic and Leanne and Momo and Orlando. Kakaru says Evans is better than Maguire. We rather have him than Maguire. Evans, says Stephen. Precisely, guys, precisely. Evans, says Jim Watkins. Evans, 100%, says Simon. Evans, says Cake and CZ. There you go. I rest my case. Everyone's more or less in agreement apart from Ken here, who says Harry 100%. I honestly think Evans is a better player and he's got the better experience and he's not as much as a melter as Harry. Doesn't make as many errors. You know, he's a decent player. 0793 says Evans is way better than Maguire. He was a great player for Albion. There you go. 0793. Let's forget about the Albion days, mate. Don Emmy says Evans. Anyone but Slabby, says Gungshi. Crikey, Rugmuncher 007? Fucking hell, that's a name and a half. Thank you for thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Holy shit. Thank you, everyone. Let's get your favourite emoji, though, to welcome in this character down here who has become a member of this channel. Thank you for supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. Yeah, McKay says, welcome, new member. Awesome name. Welcome to the new member there. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, though. But that goes for everyone. You can become a member of this channel if you want for $1.99 a month. You don't have to. We literally treat everyone the same around here and read out everyone's comments and get in with the community no matter what. But if you want to support the channel, like that guy, you can do, and just by clicking the join button there, or there should be a link in the description. It's $1.99 a month. You get access to emojis. You get your name in green. You get highlighted member comment once a month as well. And you get admiration from the community and myself. So there you go. Thank you very much there for becoming a member, my friend. Mikey says, we just got rid of the last two Sir Alex players and we re-signed one straight away. Let's get Welbeck and Nani back whilst we're at it. Hey, Nani would still be a decent option even at 35 or whatever he is. Guy's a baller. Hendrik, no, there's no more news on Amrabat, Hendrik. The only news on Amrabat is the same as yesterday, really, when we discussed it, which is United are interested in him. And, you know, we're supposedly going in for him. Apparently, we're monitoring Goretzka also. So this is from Pletty Gold. It just says that Man United is still monitoring Leon Goretzka, but the club is more focused on Sofian Amrabat. So we're expected to go in for a bid for Fiorentina very soon and try and sign him. But that's the latest we got on that. The door is still open, unfortunately, for other teams to go in for him and maybe try and bid. Some reports suggest that Liverpool are still interested in Sofian Amrabat. But hopefully you can see United winning that race as well. Lord PlayStation says, how much do you think Snotty McTominay is worth? £25 million. He's a good player. He's Scotland's best player. Statistically speaking, he's not terrible. He just isn't good enough for Manchester United technically. For a lower Prem side, such as West Ham, who's just received £105 million for Declan Rice, we could certainly get 25 million out of him for him. So I think, yeah, sell Scotty McTominay to West Ham, get 25 million quid, pocket the money, use it towards signing Harry Kane or whoever. Nani would be less selfish than Anthony, says Jonathan Gallagher. Jim says, are you serious about Nani playing really well? He might be a bit better than a few of our Deadwood. Nani is playing in the Australian League. Listen, I wasn't really being serious about Nani, but actually he's a baller though. Technically speaking, he's great. But you know what? He's just too old now. I haven't seen him play since he was in the MLS. He was good in the MLS. He was very good in the MLS, but I haven't seen him play since then, and that was only the MLS. Let's be honest, the Premier League's totally different. So no, I was only joking. I'm not being serious about Nani. Hey, thank you, Gungshi. Get in there, you Don. Sue! Don Gungshi Leone, fucking get in there. Get those strong arm emojis in there, please, for Don Gungshi, guys. What an absolute legend. He's just gifted out 5 memberships in this stream today. You absolute hero. Gungshi, thank you very, very much indeed, man. I really do appreciate you. All the best to you, Mr. Gungshi over in Taiwan. What an absolute legend. He's made 5 people become a member. Sean Hockridge, Josh Dunn, Can Bay, and also DC Skyline, Ramasi, and who else? I don't know. Surely somebody else there as well. One other person. Don't know who it's gone to, but those guys there. And Can Bay, Josh Dunn, Sean Hockridge, yes, get in there. Gungshi, thank you so much. Can we just get some love hearts raining down in the live chat for this legend, Gungshi? Never ceases to amaze me, this man. The level of support he has for this community and this channel is legendary. You're a true legend, Gungshi. Hashtag legend in the live chat for Gungshi. 100%. Templar Priest, definitely. Gungshi for the next captain. Well said, absolutely. Well, he's the captain of the Baker Brigade, no doubt. Thank you, Gungshi. You're a true Don. Really do appreciate that from the bottom of my tingling, fizzing, piggy loins. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But I mean, they're tingling in the sense that United are doing business at the moment, not because I've, got a semi on or anything. You're a legend, Gungshi. You're an absolute legend. Thank you, bro. All right, I'm going to stick on here for a good 5 minutes longer to see what you legends have got to say for yourself and, get your thoughts and opinions in the chat. So we'll try and get as many comments read out as possible. Once again, thank you, Gungshi, honestly. 9 Wolves 2007 says the reason people don't rate Hojlund is that he doesn't move gracefully, but neither does Thomas Muller. And he's been world class for years. It's about efficiency. Spot on, 9 Wolves. Yeah, spot on. I don't really know anybody who doesn't necessarily not rate Hojlund. I just think it's a case of he's young and he's going to cost a lot of money, and we're only going off on the basis of 9 goals for last season. But he's a big, physical, strong, quick player, isn't he? So yeah, I agree with you. Get in there, Luan. Get in there, Momo. Legend 100% says Rocky. Mikey says, do you think Maguire said he wants to stay to Ten Hag's face only for Ten Hag to grab the armband, point at Evans and say, take the bloody hint, Harry? Possibly. There were some reports coming out a while ago that said that Maguire would want to stay and fight for his place in the United side. You can't blame him. He's on huge money at United and it's a great club. And we're in the Champions League and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I think you could be onto something there. He's taken the armband off of him. We signed another defender who now goes ahead of him. It's a big hint to Harry Maguire to do one. Maybe Ten Hag has already had this conversation with Harry Maguire and said, look, if you want to play football, you're going to have to go elsewhere. You're surplus to requirements. I'd like to sell you, if anything, and try and generate cash. Maybe he's already said that to Harry. So I think you're spot on, really. I think you're absolutely spot on with that. It's a big hint to Harry Maguire to get the hell out of this club. But we still got to hope that somebody else comes in for Harry Maguire. We can't do anything about Maguire going anywhere unless a team is prepared to actually bid for the guy. Ruthless sausage. Just put your semi in a United shirt. It's still better than the slabby. Yeah, man. We're going to be streaming FIFA on Friday. Absolutely, bud. Yes, definitely. We'll be back at it then. Vutinator says we've got 272 likes. Keep hitting the likes, guys. We could get to 300 before the end of the stream. I agree with you, JR. 50 million euros or 50 million pounds even. And it's okay for Hojlund, but anymore it is risky. Newly promoted clubs, Luton Town, Sheffield United and Burnley need EPL players. Those are the clubs United should be selling players to. Great shout, Gregory. Yeah, I could see that happening, absolutely. There should be a whole host of lower Premier League teams that would be interested in our players. There should be a whole host of Saudi Arabian teams that are interested in our players. Emperor Jerome says, just terminate Maguire's contract if he refuses to leave. Fair one. That's another good shout as well. But when you terminate his contract, you have to, pretty sure, unless he agrees to a mutual termination, you would have to actually pay him outright for the remainder of his contract, which means it would cost United a fortune to get rid of him. So it doesn't really make sense. It would make more sense to just let him go on a free to a different club and they pay his wages and we just wash our hands with him. But yeah, I feel you though. If Maguire was a car, which would he be? If he was a car, he'd be a Ford Transit van. But an old one that's got a really rusted out bottom, you know what I mean? Because those are rust buckets, some of those old Transits. Get that salt water on them and they rust to shit. That's what's happened with Harry Maguire. Actually, as a car, sorry, you said car, not a van. As a car, it's a good question. What's really, really overpriced and expensive but fundamentally shite? I don't know, I'm just trying to think. Great question. I mean, you can't say, you know, like an old school Skoda or a Robin Reliance this time. Yeah, but no, I'm trying to think of something that's really expensive but fundamentally was gash. I don't know. Tesla, no, that's not right. Tesla's too technical, too advanced. A Lada sounds good. Yeah, that's a good shout. Mikey says, I'm a Luton lad. They have a certain way of not overpaying for players and are meticulous in their recruitment. They won't just sign United's Deadwood for just the name value. Well, they could sign some of the United players. You know, players like Donny van der Beek, who's not on big money. So I think Donny's on like 60k a week. That's sort of reasonable to expect maybe a newly promoted team to pay for a player. But certainly, you know, it rules out some of the 100+k a week players that United are overpaying. Maguire would be a Suzuki, says Jim Watkins. Vauxhall, says Rajak. Yeah, Vauxhall Vectra. That's a great shout. Datsun Cherry, says Chelsea. Lexus, says Superstar. Lexus are nice though, mate. You know, Harry Maguire would probably be like a Rover 75. A Rover 75. You know, the poor man's Jag. And the head gasket always goes on them. Absolute nightmare. You know what I mean? Nice looking car. You know, nice looking car. You expect a lot more from it than it actually gives you. But the head gasket constantly blows on those things. It's got a fault. It's got a serious fault in it. You know what I mean? He's a Rover 75. Plus Rover, as a company, is dead. So it kind of makes sense. Duncan says a Lancia. Dave says a Lada. He's a cement truck, says Momo. A tractor, says Chelsea. Will 79. The Ocean Gate submarine, says Fire Up. Bloody hell. Yeah, we do have to do something about that, Johnny Gallagher. We're slowly but surely doing it. Federico says, I'm Italian, and I see Serie A always Hojlund is like a 30 or 40 million pound player, not more. I agree with you, Federico. I think we shouldn't be looking to pay too much more than that, bud. Maguire had stayed at Leicester, he'd still get praised like Dunk does. True, he's just not the right player for Man United. He's not the right fit. Couldn't live up to the pressure of playing at Manchester United. Should have never been given the armband by Ollie. And because of his price tag, we all expected a lot more from him. You're absolutely right. If he'd have stayed at Leicester, he'd probably be absolutely fine. A hearse, expensive and deadly, says our Kings. Slabby would be a Sinclair C5, if you remember those. I do those little go-kart, little weird things. Harry's a BMW. You what there, Ken? Thank you, Jim. Mikey says Chong's their most expensive signing at 5 million. Before that was Morris at 1 million. Luton won't give big feels like United. Yeah, fair play to you. I agree with that. If he was a smartphone, he would definitely be that exploding phone from Samsung. He'd probably be like a 1980s Motorola brick. No one suggested a Yugo yet, says Jabba. You hate those trolleys. Lancia for the price of a Lamborghini. Maybe a Tonka truck. I'm loving this, guys. Hearst does win. Hearst is a good one. Yeah, let's call him a hearse. Hey, what's going on, MUFC Realist TV? How you doing there? Mick Blue into his house. He says, big up, Joe. New term is get rid of the fridge player, not fridge player. Wait a second. New term is get rid of the fridge player, not fridge player. Mick, I don't get it. Oh, fringe. Right, yeah. I get it now. Nice one. Yes, exactly. Get rid of the fridge player who's a fringe player. Absolutely. The guy is a complete fridge of a man. Well said. I mean, listen, we've signed Jonny Evans now. It's an absolute bolt from the blue. See what I did there? It's a surprise. And, you know, it's obviously looking really nice to maybe imagine Harry Maguire leaving this football club this summer. It's down to him. It's down to whether or not he actually has the bottle to go and play somewhere else and maybe give up his huge contract that he's being paid at United right now. Reports are that it was increased recently because of the fact that Man United had qualified for the Champions League. So £200,000+ a week is what this guy's currently being paid. It's a travesty that he's being paid that much. Will he have the bollocks to go and try and play somewhere else, go and try and convince Southgate to keep playing him in the England setup, in the build-up to European Championships and all that kind of thing? Will we find out? And actually, will there be a team crazy enough to go out there in the summer transfer window and put in a bid to Manchester United for Slabby Maguire? Only time will tell. But I really hope that that's the case. And obviously with United signing Jonny Evans, it means that now Harry Maguire is like our 6th choice centre-back. And so therefore, you know, we should hopefully be seeing the back of him very, very soon. He certainly won't be playing very regularly, even if he stays. But let's just hope it's not another Phil Jones situation where we've got this guy paid way too much money who's just sat there and he's a glorified T-boy. Let's hope that that's not the case. Absolutely. You've got it, Harry Maguire equals 500, an RS 500, expenses of foot, but still just a Ford underneath. I like your style. Maybe he's a Focus ST, and the ST stands for sexually transmitted. Anyway, right. We're going to wrap up this stream now, guys. We've been on here for 1 hour and 35 minutes. That's a long time. And Nissan Qashqai, that's a great one, bud. Nissan Qashqai. I want to say thank you to everybody who's got in this stream. Much love to everyone. MUFC, Realist TV, The Vutinator, Templar Priest, Rajat, Edward Reed, Nick Stevenson, Gungshi, a legend, says we've got 277 likes. Keep hitting the likes, guys. Smash a like before you go. Fire Up, Boomy, JR, Luan, Reshab, Edward Reed, Gregory Burke, Simon Warner, Jabba there, Jim, Boomy, Welsh Red, Emperor Jerome, Templar Priest, everybody, guys. Thank you, Luan, all the moderators in blue there, like Luan, Sin Games, Mikhail Kramer, Gungshi, Primot, of course, Vutinator, all these legends. Thank you so much for getting in here and moderating the chat. Thank you to all the members in green who support the show. Once again, thank you to Don Gungshi for gifting out 5 memberships on the channel. Thank you everyone for being a part of the stream here today, guys. I really do appreciate it. You can come back after this stream's finished and get your thoughts and opinions in. Thank you, Mikhail Kramer. You can come back after this video's finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comment section after this video's finished. Come back after. Keep the debate going. Let us know what you think about us re-signing Jonny Evans, what you think it means for Harry Maguire's future at the football club, and who you think we should go and sign in the remainder of this transfer window. It's looking good for Hojlund. Obviously, personal terms agreed there, and we're expected to go in for an official bid very, very soon. Hopefully, we can reach an agreement with Atalanta very soon for Rasmus Hojlund, and then this transfer window is looking very tasty, guys. Thank you very much, Johnny. Thank you, Simon, Jutaru, Mikhail, Emperor Jerome, Jim, Boomy, John Boy, Vutinator, every single one of you legends. That's the end of the show. Thanks for watching. Come back after and have your say. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, and Threads at Flying Pig United. All the links are in the description down below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if it's your first time here. Click the red subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Make sure you drop a like before you go. That's also free. Click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of the streams. And that way we'll keep you up to date with the latest news and goings on. It's been a great chat today, guys. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll be back at around about 9:30 or 10 p.m. tonight. Thank you very much, Luan. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back at around about 9:30 or 10 p.m. tonight to give you the evening's latest news. There should hopefully be some more to dissect and get into later. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great afternoon. Piggy loves you. And I'll see you on the next one. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.